Hi everyone, warehouse and operations as a career. I'm Marty. Is everyone wrapping up their year? Was it as prosperous as you'd hoped? Not just monetary wise, but did we achieve the growth professionally that we all aimed for? If not, you're ready for 2020 though, right? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's put all that on hold for just a bit. Earlier this week, I noticed several articles along the lines of how to leave a job. That got me to thinking about one of the opportunities that I hear from recruiters almost every week. You know, in our chosen fields of operations, warehousing, and transportation, not only do we, as employees, have the ability to move around a lot, but so can members of management. It seems like every week I hear about someone that I've worked with, that's left company X and started with so-and-so company. As we've learned this year, advancement, new positions, and reaching out for opportunities are how we can climb that corporate ladder. Of course, though, if we love our jobs or our task and it provides us the income and environment that we're looking for, I think that's a perfect fit too. Where things can get sticky for us, though, really with either scenario, is if we're unhappy with our employer, or maybe even a supervisor, or maybe the drive is just longer than we want for now. Really, for whatever reason, there honestly are right ways and wrong ways to leave our jobs. I want to go a little deeper than just saying we should always give a 1 or 2 week notice. So let's talk about that for a few minutes today. Whether we're seeking employment through direct hire with a company or utilizing a staffing agency, the job market is tough. We always hear about how low unemployment or high unemployment rates, meaning jobs are hard to find or easy to find, blah, blah, blah. When we're the one looking for a job, it's always a task for us. First, we have to decide what we want to do. Then we'll spruce up our resumes or clean up our work histories and get out there and put in those applications. We'll probably have several phone interviews, and hopefully we'll get the opportunity to go out to different facilities and have a sit-down or that face-to-face interview. And you know what? When we get that job, it may not be what we thought that we wanted. Something like, let's say we've moved. Now we're living 10 miles farther from our workplace, and we've been employed with them for like 5 years, but it's taking us 30 more minutes to get home every day. Possibly our old supervisor's been promoted, and the new one? Well, let's just say we're no longer happy where we're at. Back to what I was saying about recruiters earlier. One of their biggest struggles is with hiring people that really want or need a position, and then the new associate doesn't show up on the first scheduled day or maybe quits showing up after day 3. No phone calls, no contact, no information shared of any kind. And I've heard less than 10% of exit interviews are ever really responded to. I know of a couple of companies that utilize programs for texting or emailing out exit surveys. Using that method, we wouldn't have to even speak to anyone from the company. And I'm told those responses are even less than 10%. And wouldn't that be the opportunity for us to explain how the hiring agent may have missed the high points of the position, or our chance to explain why we felt the job description didn't match the expectations explained to us during the interview? Or maybe we just changed our minds and went another direction. A short apology from us may go a long way with that recruiter. Anyway, so why is it important to quit a job the right way? Well, I have quite a few opinions on that subject, most of them from experiences, and I've gathered a few facts on the subjects as well. Okay, let's look at a few of the don'ts or things that can really come back around to haunt us on down the road. Let me see what I do with my bullet points. Here, I got them. Okay, there is never a good reason for walking off the job at lunch. Just disappearing. And this seems to be a big one nationally. Most of the articles I ran across mention this. Last week, I had an order selector on his first day. He didn't say anything to anybody, just didn't come back after lunch. He left his selection batch and pallet jack in the aisle for someone to find it about an hour later when they were looking for the pallets to be loaded on the route truck. Now, do you think his recruiter will ever place him again? Recruiters and hiring agents really get frustrated with us when they've spent their time with us on the phone and interviewing us. They've taken us through the onboarding process, committed to their customer or their operations department and their bosses that they have a great candidate starting tomorrow, and then we just never show up. No phone call, no communication, no further contact of any kind. And it happens all too often. Myself, I've taken calls from those same individuals 3 or 4 weeks later asking me if I have any work for them. I guess I'm a little more understanding than most because when I check with the recruiters, they look at me like I'm crazy and just kind of shake their heads. And then us as a long-term employee, and I can understand we're leaving one employer because something's already happened. We're excited about our new job, of course, but now is not the time to start slacking off or talking bad about our management or even the company. We may be frustrated to the point of showing them or trying to screw over our supervisor and possibly just quit coming in. I assure you, we're not causing any long-term hurt to either. And then there's the employee that quits showing up, but they don't have another job even lined up yet. Who have we really hurt there? I feel it's really important that we give that 1 or 2 weeks notice anytime that we can. Oh, and if we have some time off or vacation in the bank, don't take it as our 1 week notice. Our jobs are not going to get done. We're not helping our former employer by doing that. And in most instances, we'll get any vacation owed to us when we leave. We've already earned it. Most companies are going to honor that commitment to us as employees. So what's really wrong with doing all the above? Well, you're going to be surprised how many of your fellow teammates, leads, supervisors, and managers you're going to run into throughout your careers in this industry. Recruiters may not want to give you another chance. Our old teammates may not give us a stellar recommendation if they're asked by, their new employer. And you'll be surprised how many of our old supervisors you're going to run into down the road. What we do is hard work. It can be long hours, and it's easy for us to get frustrated on the job, and too easy for us to make a really bad decision just by ghosting our jobs. I found a few articles that are along the lines of how to leave a job. One of them from monster.com. Let's see, it was 25 ways you might accidentally burn bridges when you quit a job. I thought that one was really good. Oh, and here I found one. It was on Facebook. Actually, it come from a posting on the Las Vegas Job Board and More group. It was published by Pride Staff, and you can find it at staffinglasvegas.com. And it was titled Never Burn Bridges with Temporary Employers. Oh, and I really like this one too. It was from projectmanager.com, How to Quit Your Job Without Burning Bridges. I'll add these links in today's show notes, but there's literally hundreds of these types of articles online. You know how I am about a little self-education. Check out the 3 I mentioned and look up a few on Google. They'll definitely point you in the right direction. And I'll blame human nature on all these kinds of decisions. Merriam-Webster tells us that human nature is the nature of humans, especially the fundamental dispositions and traits of humans. If we're just looking for a great job that fits our lives, everything we've talked about today is really fine for us. We have a skill. It's operations, and we can just go someplace else. We'll find work and a job. It's so easy to take the easy way out of a bad situation and just walk away from it. And you know what? In many instances or situations, that's exactly what we should do. In my experience, though, we will be limiting our careers and our futures professionally by taking the easy way out or leaving a job the wrong way. Never burn those bridges. As I mentioned before, I run into people that I've worked with 3, 5, 10, even 20 years earlier almost monthly. And in many instances, they can help me out with new business or referrals. Well, there's a few thoughts on how to leave a job, and that'll wrap up episode number 166 of WAOC and the 48th week of 2019. Wow, 4 weeks until 2020. Until next week, remember, where safety is concerned, human nature does not figure into the equation. Always put safety first, professionally and in our family lives.